What up, YouTube? Timus here. Here's my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10 and 20 this week. The films turning 10, we got Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Of course, this was the first installment of a new trilogy of the Planet of the Apes franchise. This one was directed by Rupert Wyatt, starring James Franco as Will Rodgman, who is a scientist in San Francisco who's experimenting with a drug that he hopes will cure his father's Alzheimer's disease. But after his work is deemed a failure, he becomes the guardian of Caesar, who's of course played by Andy Serkis, who's this infant chimp who it was ends up being exposed to the ultra to a Will's drug, and he of course display unusual intelligence, and he of course he of course has abilities to grow and becomes to represent the threat of man's dominant over Earth. I mean, War for the Planet of the Apes, while War and Dawn was good, Rise of the Planet of the Apes was a really cool prequel. Obviously, these Planet of the Apes movies are not as good as the original Charlton Heston classic, but they are still fun, entertaining. Of course, like I said, after Rise, we ended up having Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which, come on, apes on horses, people. We ended up having War for the Planet of the Apes. It's a shame that James Franco never came back for those ones, but hey, the first one was still really cool. I mean, it's crazy to believe it's literally 10 years since Rise got released, but yeah. Anyway, also turning 10, we got this really funny comedy called The Change Up. Now, this is a comedy that stars Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds, and it's where these they of course place these two best buddies who have drifted apart over the years. Jason Bateman's character Dave is this overworked lawyer and a family man, while Mitch, has avoided, responsibilities of adulthood, and so of course one day they both change bodies, and it's a really hilarious one. I mean, you pretty much have Ryan Reynolds becoming Jason Bateman, while Jason Bateman becomes Ryan Reynolds. It's so awesome. I mean, it was directed by David Dobkin, who also gave us movies like Wedding Crashers. He recently gave us that Eurovision that premiered on Netflix last year. You also had Olivia Wilde was also in this. You also had Leslie Mann. You had some really cool cast members in this film. I believe Alan Arkin was in this, if I'm not mistaken, too. I mean, we've already, of course we've seen these type of body swap movies before. We've seen it with Freaky Friday, most recent Freaky. We've seen it with some other cool stuff. But The Change Up is really one that does not get talked about a whole lot, but it's actually much better than most people give it credit for. It's hilarious. The chemistry between both Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman are so funny. I mean, Ryan Reynolds had some really intriguing movies out in 2011. Of course, he had Green Lantern and The Change Up. Who would have guessed that a comedy like Change Up would be a better movie than his superhero from The Green Lantern? But yeah. Anyway, shows how great Ryan Reynolds can do with comedies. I mean, we've seen that with obviously we've seen that with Deadpool. Free Guy looks hilarious. I just love Ryan Reynolds, so anything he's in, I'll just watch in a heartbeat. All right. Turning 20, we got The Princess Diaries, of course, directed by Gary Marshall, starring Anne Hathaway, who plays shy San Francisco teenager Mia Thermopolis, who of course discovers that she is a real-life princess. You of course have Julie Andrews, Hector Elizondo. I mean, the first Princess Diaries is really cute. It's charming. It's such a really good one. Worth checking out if you guys haven't seen that. Has been talked about a third one, but that never really came to fruition, so who knows if that's ever going to happen. Anyway, also turning 20, for all you Rush Hour fans, we got Rush Hour 2. Once again, the sequel starring both Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. Of course, 2007 we ended up having Rush Hour 3. I'm still holding out hopes for another Rush Hour, but they've been saying they're going to do another Rush Hour, but it never really came to fruition. I mean, it'll be cool seeing another Rush Hour. I love the chemistry between both Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. They really play off each other well in these movies. And yeah, but Rush Hour 2 is definitely a really fun one if you guys have not seen it. I mean, if you guys haven't seen none of the Rush Hour movies, they aren't great films, but they are really fun buddy cop movies. They're worth checking out. I mean, give those films a go. Also turning 20, we got Original Sin, which is this very risque, dirty, filthy film that starred both Antonio Banderas and Angelina Jolie. It's pretty much about about this about this couple who are bound together first by matrimony, and then they are fierce love and desire, and so they pretty much there's like lots of they end up getting into a landscape of obsession I mean yeah, this is pretty much an erotic film. All right, I could say this is like a better version of 50 Shades of Grey, to be honest. Yeah. But Antonio Banderas and Angelina Jolie, those two really played off each other well. They had really cool chemistry with one another. Not bad little film though. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, give it a go. Like I said, it's a risque, dirty film, but it's a really decent one. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me leave to you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? The 10-year one for me will probably be Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Change Up is good, but I'll definitely choose Rise of the Planet of the Apes. 20 years one, I'm probably gonna go with the Princess Diaries. I really adore the first one. But anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Moon signing off.